Hello, it's Monday, and welcome to MatchBOX Makerspace Makers Monday. And I'm Patrick, and James is here. How you doing, James?
Good. Luckily, I don't have to listen to myself. So Kofi's got himself in his ear, and I think it's messing with him. But today, it's Monday. It's Monday. Hopefully you can hear us well because we're in the same room, and that's why I have this little thing on this. I'm using this mic, not this mic. Anyway, doesn't matter. We have an amazing guest tonight, Matt Wallace. He's going to tell us what the hell an NFT is. So I don't even know at all. So what is it and what do you do? Tell us about yourself. Just go.
What is it? Okay, first,
No, tell
as
us
you
about
mentioned,
yourself.
I'm Matt Wallace. I go by Sergeant Slaughtermelon on the internet. Wolfgar got lucky. He was there when I was just noodling on the name, and I think like the first time I ever mentioned it was when I mentioned like, "Hey, is this a good idea?" He's like, "Yeah, of course." Like, so that's the name I go by.
Yeah.
And wrestling too. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I used to use the moniker just to make art for fun and giggles, and then not so long ago, crypto art and NFTs took off, and now it's like actually a career choice, some sort of level of thing you can do. It's really taken off, and it's like one of the things you hear about, especially if you're not like involved in it. Like the only thing you hear is like, there's so much money moving. Why is there so much money? Like nobody gets it, right? And like in the SNL skit, the acronym is just non-fungible token, right? And so what that means is, and my dad always liked to explain it this way, fungible just means something that can be traded for anything else that's like it. So like any two quarters, it doesn't matter to you which quarter you have, they're fungible, right? So you can trade any other ones. But now imagine that like one was like a collectible quarter that could be sold at a coin store, and you got another quarter. Well, these two are not fungible. You can't trade them. One's worth a lot and the other one's worth about 25 cents. And so a non-fungible token is basically, they've taken this ERC20 standard that they were using for currencies, and they figured out a way to make it work for particular sets of metadata. And art was an easy application. When I say metadata, it means like, okay, here's what this image is, here's all that stuff about it, and that is now like a token that people can trade and sell and do all sorts of stuff with, the same way you could with a collectible token, like a collectible quarter. So that basically, that's how it came about. If you want to hear about like the very roots and like the very beginning of all of it, like it's pretty naughty and goes way back to the very beginning. But like one of the first things that really was like the genesis of it was so you've heard of rare pepes, right? You know what a pepe is, the frog. Mm-hmm. Well, originally, you don't know the pepe frog?
No, I'm sorry. I really don't know.
Do you even meme, bro?
I know it's a meme. That's all I know. Sorry. Anyway, go on.
It was like basically just people made their own like hand-drawn or traced goofy pictures of this frog that was part of a thing. Anyways, it was a joke for a while on like image boards and stuff that you would post some goofy drawing you made of the thing as like a collectible card, and you go, "This is a rare one. Don't steal it, guys. Rare Pepe, do not steal." And that was the joke. Like, how could you steal an image? Like, as soon as everybody can see it, it's stolen, right? Well, that meme kind of turned into a thing where they're like, well, how could you make an image though that couldn't be stolen? Like, is there a way to do that? How could you have something that everybody could see but couldn't just take? How could it be different? And there's things like that, like Bitcoin, which is what sort of birthed the genesis of it. Is like Bitcoin, everybody can see what's in your Bitcoin wallet. That's public. A lot of people don't realize that, but like if they just look up your address, they can see what's in it. And so it's the same with these tokens. Like anybody can see this token and see that you own it, but just seeing it doesn't mean you can like take it from them. So it's kind of a public asset that you can own and trade and do things with. And they figured out how to do that. So it's worth more because worth more than just the image, I mean, because you can't copy the token and just have another one of it. Like you can copy the JPEG and save the JPEG, and that's what everybody's joke is. Why can't you I just screenshotted it, boy. Save myself $300. Like that's the routine. But you can't copy the token, and that's the whole thing. Is like, it's basically like if you had a Mickey Mantle card, right? You've got a rare Mickey Mantle card. Yeah, you can Xerox it and have something that looks functionally the exact same, especially if you get like cardstock paper, like it'll be indistinguishable. But you can't take one of them and sell it at the collectible store for thousands of dollars because they know it's not authentic. And why? Like materially, it's virtually the same, but the difference is one of them is authentic and the other one isn't. That's kind of what they figured out how to do with these smart contracts is like the artist declares this is the authentic version of it. Now you can sell it or do whatever it is you want to do with it. But this is the one. And so anybody else who has a copy of the image file, they have nothing. You know, they have a Xerox Mickey Mantle card. Yeah, it might be neat, but it's not worth anything.
So to put it in the way I understand it, then it's a lot like having like an original print of a painting, right? Where there's a lot of pictures of those paintings. Like I have posters of X-Men posters, but I don't have the original picture, right?
Yes.
And I'm happy with my poster, which was the JPEG. Yeah.
Yes, it is like that. And now the other thing you've got to add to it, for one thing, the poster is a good example because like if you had a signed original movie poster, that'd be worth more, right? Because it's connected to the artist. But now imagine that anywhere at any time on a global marketplace without requiring any work or any papers being signed or any mail being shipped, you could sell that poster to somebody else. And there is a network of thousands of people that are interested in it and want it. And as long as you list it, there's a decent chance it'll sell to somebody else who wants it pretty soon. Your poster's worth more simply because it can be resold if it's a token. That's the whole point. Like even if I had a great signed print from an artist, like it's really not that easy for me to resell it. Like I have to go through, and I'd have to set up an eBay thing or whatever. Like there's so many steps. And there's not a market of people willing to just take their hard-earned money and be like, I want this secondhand print from this artist, whatever. And like maybe if the artist is famous in like a jillion years, it'll sell. But like every single token that gets created is immediately resellable to the entire market that's interested. So that's a part of why it's like it's different in a sense, just that the utility is not just the resale market, but the ease of use. It's totally different.
Very cool. Because I mean, I know I have baseball cards literally that I was just looking into trying to sell. And apparently you have to get them, graded, and it costs money to get them graded. You have to send them away to get them graded, and a bunch of like craziness happens to this, and it's just super hard. And the same thing with everything else. It sounds like this is a way of making it crazy easy, like super easy. Along with that, then, so if I get on like Photoshop and create a cool picture of Kofi as Destro or something, right?
I'll try to imagine
like,
that.
Look, Destro is Kofi, and it's this original James Wolfe car. Boom! I just did it. How easy is it for me to be like, okay, this is the original, like, sell it for lots of money and blah, right? How's that go? Take me through that process.
Okay, so this is basically what's happening constantly right now, especially since March. Just that it's just a flood of people trying to sell stuff, trying to get in and trying to do different things. And so you've even got different philosophies about how it should work and how everything should be handled. So like a lot of it just follows lines that like you imagine it has to. Like, so people start trying to sell everything immediately, right? Well, where? You've got to sell it somewhere. You still have to go through this process to mint things. That's what they call it when you sort of create the token, right? Well, here's the thing, like Ethereum, it's really cool. It's like this intangible network. Oh, I should say this first before I get too carried away, because this is one step that you're going to have to understand before we talk about other things. Cool. So most people, when they talk about cryptocurrency, they know about Bitcoin, right? And it exists, that somehow people have it and somehow people want it for money. You don't know why. That's most people's experience of it.
Yeah.
Right. So now here's the thing. Imagine Bitcoin is like gold, okay? In the sense that, like, what do people want gold for? It's like, well, technically you can make like circuits and stuff out of it, but like most people want gold as a store of value, right? They're not going to do anything with it. They just want it to have it. Bitcoin works kind of like that. You don't really do much with it. It's just kind of there to exist. And the fact that no one can take it from you is kind of the point. As long as it has some store of value that we all agree upon. Like, gold isn't intrinsically valuable. If people decided gold wasn't worth anything, it wouldn't be. But that's kind of how Bitcoin works. It's like this consensus store of value. Ethereum is another currency that is like Bitcoin, but you can build stuff with it. You can build programs. You can write code into it to how it should function, so that the currency is more like iron. Where like, yeah, iron is worth something, like as a scrap thing. It has a store of value. Not a lot of people stockpile it, but it has value. But really, iron is mostly used to make things and build things and do things with it. And Ethereum is like this. Once they realized they could start doing things with NFTs and programs and finance and all this stuff with Ethereum, a computer that nobody owns, that's mirrored across nodes all over the world, that is being run basically in a way that no one can shut it down and no one owns it. No one can violate the system itself. That's when you've got a world computer running at all times on anywhere you can connect to Wi-Fi that you can interact with, right? So now this is what's going on, but it costs money because if everybody's trying to use this computer at the same time, it's going to get bogged down. And the reality is they just pay for that by basically referring the fees onto the people that are creating the tokens and calculating the chains for it, the blocks for it. So if you as an artist come into here and you have virtually no money and you say, I want to get some art made, they say, oh, well, that takes actually kind of a lot of gas. They call it gas. It's like what they call, just imagine you got to put more gas in your car if you want to get where you're trying to get it. And that's all you need to know.
Fuel. Yeah.
Basically paying money to get your transaction process sooner, right? And when I started out, it was like, okay, it was like $12, $20, $30, $40. At 40, I was going, oof, that's a lot to be putting a JPEG on the internet, right? You're like, I can't imagine doing that. And now for a while there, it was like, it was $120. It was $150 to get it on there. It was $200. It's like, that's an awful lot to be investing before you've made any money. So you got all these new people coming in and they're like, oh, how can I make money? I'm going to sell one of these. And you're like, well, that'll be $38 just to put the thing on the internet. And they go, oh, I haven't made any money yet. Can I do that? And so they'll start, it kind of acts as a buffer where people don't want to do it with just every little thing because you got to pay gas. So it screens out people flooding it completely with garbage.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
And the other thing that happens is you have different philosophies. You have an open platform where they say anybody can come in, you got to sign up, fill out the Google form that's automated, you're in, you can start selling. Even with gas fees, those ones tend to have just a torrent of stuff. Everybody's trying to make some money, and like you want to get seen. How the new feed goes this fast? It's gone. You can't even keep up. And there's other people that are selling thousands of dollars, and if you're selling one for even for hundreds, like they're not going to pay any attention to you. You're not going to be on any leaderboards. You're not going to be on any trending stuff. The other view is there's this older platforms, and they're more like gated communities where they were like, you fill out an artist application and look it over, see how it looks. And if your art looks up to snuff and you have a decent statement and you give us a nice video of yourself and a name and you verify all your social media accounts, we'll think about it. And so those platforms curate who's on it and what they can mint. And the thing is, when you're on those platforms, not only can you sell it there, but you're usually minting it through their system so that your art that you do on there is labeled like, oh, this is from Super Rare. That's Premiere. It's like brand name goods, right?
So it's like selling through a brand name store.
Yeah. So there's curated, gated communities like Makerspace and Known Origin and Super Rare, just to name a few. And there's like,
throwing it out there, right?
You should see my Laszlo Lisitzky collection. It was actually moving a lot today. You'd be surprised. But where was I? Okay, so like there's open ones and curated ones, and then OpenSea is kind of weird because it's sort of an in-between platform. So OpenSea, all this blockchain stuff, you can see it. It's public, right? If you know where to look on like the transaction logs, you can see who did what, where, and when, and for how much money. Well, OpenSea kind of built their platform with the idea that they would be tracking all these NFTs from all these different platforms and make it searchable and show who sold what, where, when, and for how much money with NFTs in such a way that you can see them with nice little thumbnails and details about them. So OpenSea is kind of a meta platform, right? And then they were doing that for a long time, and eventually they made it so that you can also create collections there and sell stuff there. And so it's kind of an open one. They don't verify you just automatically. You kind of have to have some clout to get verified. But so yeah, there's, and in crypto, it's always, people, there's like the radical anarchists who are like, I can't believe they're screening who can and who can't sell stuff. This is criminal. And then there's other people who are like, yeah, but look at this garbage. I want to be on the creative platform. So I mean,
So I gotta ask. That seems like a lot. One, where can we find you? Where's the one that you go to now?
Oh, I'm glad you asked.
I mean, you gotta go. I gotta go to your site like right now, and all the viewers just.
Oh, do you?
Keep listening.
Okay, I'll put it
to his site.
Here, I'll put it in the link tree. How about that?
Yeah, there you
go. Where can I comment?
Well, we have slaughtermallet.com.
Yeah,
that's there. But the easiest way to see all the stuff I got is linkter.ee/SGT_slaughtermelon. Why can't I comment in the comment section? What's the deal with that?
You should be able to.
I have to
comments.
No, I didn't log in. That's why.
Okay, yeah.
At the login.
Big NFT guy not knowing how to log in.
Yeah.
You
Maybe
put it
that's
in
it. Maybe
private,
that's the
private
key.
chart. Oh, he disappeared.
Oh, he did. He logged in, and it was like it kicked him out because that's how that goes. Man.
But yeah, there you go. You're back.
I clicked log in and it was like, oh, let's go to the thing. I was like, oh, this thing. And then it left. So I'm back.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Okay, if we don't have at least one drop here, we're not doing a Right Maker Monday here. It's been pretty consistent for the past couple of times.
Anyway, that's where you can see all my stuff. I'm on Twitter. Everybody in crypto is on Twitter. I don't know why. I hate Twitter.
But
I found it.
Twitter's the place to go, though. If you want to be in.
Oh, yeah. If you're not on Twitter, it's virtually impossible. I don't know how people do it without using it.
All right.
I'm on Known Origin. I got a pretty big profile there. Foundation is on the way up. I've been moving on that one a little bit. That's kind of another one of those in between platforms where it's invite only. So artists can invite other artists and collectors can invite artists, but like there's no staff reviewing applications or anything. So they didn't have to hire a bunch of people to do that.
Cool.
Goodness.
Yeah. No, that seems like a good compromise. So tell me about actually making your digital art. So it's all, first of all, it's all digital art, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm pretty much.
I can't like make something in a 3D printed prop and be like, yeah, sell this on the internet for NFT. It doesn't work that way, right?
You can.
Tell me about it.
You can.
Oh,
They haven't figured out a good workaround for physical stuff. In fact, I had a guy from Malaysia trying to scam me when he bought something. So I had something listed on OpenSea for it was like a fair amount of money. It was listed for like $1,000 because I had this big art quality print. I'm like, I'll ship it to you. I listed it for that much when I was about to move because I didn't want to move the print. I was like, oh, this would be, maybe somebody will want it and then I can be done with it. And I forgot about it. And it was like months later and this guy from Malaysia buys it. And I'm like, holy crap, he spent a lot of money. Okay, hey guy, I got to send you this. And like I message him and he's like, oh, sorry, I'm in Malaysia. I'm like, okay, what do we do? And he's like, government's collapsing. There's nothing you can do. Give me something else. And I'm like, I'm not going to give you something else. And it was like he was basically trying to scam me and get me to give him some other NFT instead of like this printable. And he spent a whole day arguing with me, trying to convince me it was like impossible. Physicals don't work because in a global environment, how can you can't price for shipping. And if it could cost several $100s to ship something to someone, how do you know how much to charge for it? And then not to mention half the people doing it, they want to stay anonymous. They don't want their public identity on there. So how are you supposed to ship it to an anonymous identity? It doesn't work. The physical stuff, they haven't figured out a good way to do it.
dude, tell me we didn't dox you by having you on the show. I hope
Oh, totally. I'm semi-doxed at all times, though. I'm okay with that.
Ooh.
Because on my website, I have my name, and like I do too much stuff. I couldn't. The people that run like real OPSEC stuff, in crypto they call it OPSEC. All right, let's get it.
Okay.
All right.
People
now,
Good to know.
now we're all experts.
They've got services that like set up domains anonymously. They've got Telegram handles to burner phones. Like, it's for real. Like, they don't want you to know who they are. And it's not always just because they're like crazy and they're criminal and they're anarchists. For a lot of these new projects, there's no clear ruling from the SEC on how these different types of things should work. And so if you're on a team of 10 people that build a project that ends up with like, $10 million locked value, and then the SEC decides 2 years later to figure out what you were doing, and they're like, oh, that's illegal. Well, you're in big trouble for a lot of money. And so a lot of these people that are just doing projects to experiment and see what you can do with crypto, they don't want their legal name on it, because they may not be doing something illegal now, but it might be illegal years from now when they catch up with like legislation.
Yeah. Plus, it's just really cool to have a burner phone. I feel like that's the reason.
right? It's kind of a running joke.
Right. Just who doesn't want one in their wall and like the light socket? Come on. Yeah. So you can't do physical. So tell me about the making of your art that you do, or what kind of stuff. What got you into it too? It's like 3 questions. Just tell me about how you make your art first.
Basically, I mean, being at Purdue was what gave me the time to really get into it. When I was teaching this like art circle thing with my friend Esteban, I was like an adjunct getting paid dirt and quarters. And it was cheap dirt too. It was a lot, but we got time. One of the things I got time to do was really explore different art stuff I was interested in but never had time for. So I worked on like glitch techniques, and I worked on my programming skills because I had to teach programming in there for a little while, and I got better at that kind of stuff. And also I just had time to sort of, oh, hey, yeah, there it is. Who found that? Anyway, I had time to do all that. So, you know, I learned, oh, that's the shirt I'm wearing.
There you go.
There it
So
is,
you
baby.
do physical products in the fact of like, these are your fans?
Yeah, but this has nothing to do with NFTs. This was just
Okay, yeah, that's
a
just
guy I met that we made it because it was fun. Comic books. Yeah, so I make a lot of different. I used to do a lot of glitch art, and I'm doing more and more programming and traditional styles and stuff like that. And it's what part of it is just like if you experiment with something long enough, you can experiment your way out of it. And so
Yeah.
I don't beat myself up about being incredibly consistent. I try to keep. I like to keep consistent like themes. Like I like geometry and using a lot of geometry. I don't really want to get away from that because I enjoy it. And I also like the idea of assisted design. I like the idea of being able to use programs and systems to help me make things that I couldn't make on my own. A lot of times that just means textures that would take days to create. You know, I wrote a program. Oh, it draws 1 million triangles a second, all at these different angles. Like done. Like, you know, some of it's just
Okay, and that was
efficient.
what I was going to get at. So your art, you actually do need to know how to program to be able to do specifically the art that you make, typically.
Some of it you do. Some of it I just like when I was starting out, I got some that you just get a script for it and you're like click go and you're like done. now I'm a hacker.
Yeah.
But some of the so one of the things is, here's an interesting thing about crypto and NFTs. Since technically the way the art works is modeled after a currency, right? It's like currency. The more that the art is like a currency, the better it's going to function on a huge market. So now you come up against a new problem where how many paintings can an artist make in a year realistically, right? I don't know,
Yeah,
a few
I mean,
hundred.
with oil and canvases, you know,
Yeah, probably a few
a lot
hundred.
of work.
So now let's say you write a program and you figure out some iterative steps and you've got it ready to go, and you can make 10,000 in an afternoon. And they can make tokens out of that so that everybody who really wants one and wants to spend a little money can get one. And you can compare it to thousands of other sales across the market. If there's one of something, how do you evaluate it? It's unique. I don't know what it's worth because it's not quite like anything else. But if you've got 10,000 and they're all unique, but they're still a part of a collection, now you've got a whole market you just created of art that a traditional artist couldn't make in their lifetime. And so it's really been a thing where algorithmically based art, generative art has been popular because, for one, a lot of these systems, they mint it when you create it. So that's fun. And that's like a gambling thing where you're like, oh, I'm going to get a good one. And you go in there. And some of them are rare. I mean, if you get a rare one, right, you might have just spent $150 for a $10,000 asset. It happens all the time.
Wait, so this is almost like opening packs of Pokemon cards and Magic
It's
cards.
exactly like that. And they don't even pretend like it's not. Like, I got a friend.
I think you should open with that. Like literally, I'm now there's my interest speaking. Wow, what?
Yeah. Well, I got a friend that made Toshimon. He made Toshimon. They made like basically they basically made Pokemon with like crypto tropes. And they got little animals, and they even built a game that you can fight them with, and you open packs and you might get a good one. They literally tried to make like as close as you could get before, like, you know, somebody from Disney is like, wait a minute.
Well, I mean, they did that in crypto land, basically.
Well, they built a whole thing. It's Toshimon.io and
okay. So that's not a cryptocurrency thing. It's just a whole different thing.
It's involved. I mean, you buy them with Ethereum. You sell them. It's a crypto thing.
Okay. It's like a whole nother world. It's a whole nother virtual thing.
Learning all the lingo is overwhelming if you're just new to it. Don't share. Hold on. Toshimon needs.
Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna get on Toshimon, and it's gonna be the next big thing. You heard it here. I'm gonna open all the packs, virtual packs that can never be replaced. That's the other thing too. So it doesn't. I got so many questions. I'm sorry. If you want to jump in,
like half an hour to ask whatever you
want. Yeah. So here's the thing. So say I'm like, all right, cool. I'm a hacker now because I have a script, and I'm like, what's up? I'm gonna make 10,000 of these things.
Okay.
I'm going to try to make $1 per one because you know $10,000 sounds pretty cool. No, can't do that.
Well, I just mean like the price of the currency is going to fluctuate so much. You can't even promise you'll get a dollar by the time people pay for the gas. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No. So that's really what my question is, right? Like, so what's to stop me from being like, all right, cool. I'm a good programmer. I know what's up. What's to stop you, for example? Not me, because I don't know what I'm doing. But what's to stop you, for example, of being like, all right, I'm just going to make 10,000 of these things, try to literally sell them for just very little, like $1 each, 50 cents each. You're still making a ton of money, per se, right? Like,
well, the value proposition isn't there though.
All right,
you got to look at failed collections for things for examples of why that doesn't work. So like you say, okay, I made 10,000 of this thing, and people are like, that's a pretty big supply. That's a lot. And the reason 10,000 is the number you'll see come up over and over and over again is because this company called Larva Labs, when they were just figuring out the technology, they made 10,000 little pixel portraits of like people. It's just like their head. They just gave them away for free as like an experiment to people that like interacted with their platform. They're like, yeah, go have this. Sure. Well, they made 10,000 and it's made within an algorithm. And now each one of those is worth 20 or 30,000, I think is the floor. $20,000 or $30,000 for like the cheapest one.
Wow.
You're talking about like multiple millions of dollars worth out of this 10,000 collection. So everybody sees how much money is in that and they say, I can make 10,000 of something. That's what you had.
They all think the same. I just
thought,
which is, we can write a script for that. Let's go.
But you are talking about literally millions of dollars in just this one collection. And but the thing is, so many people try to mimic it and they create a huge supply. And remember, one of the value propositions was, I need to be able to resell this. And if I make so many that everybody and their brother can have one for a penny, nobody's going to buy one from me. There's no secondary market. That's what they call it. So the primary market is who buys it the first time. Secondary market is everybody who's going to be moving on after that. And until you have a secondary market guarantee, you're never going to really explode as an artist in the NFT space. Until people know they can resell your art, it's only the like true believers that think it's great art. They believe in the technology. They want it for themselves. Those people might still buy it. And radical speculators who are like, yeah, I'm not going to sell this, but maybe like 3 years from now I can, or maybe 6 months from now I can. And I know you're already thinking like, that sounds crazy, but like, I really do have friends that like bought some of my art for like $30 or $40 in crypto that have now sold it for like 800. Like they made a lot of money off that.
That's what I was going to ask next. Like, so you're into it. So
into it.
Well, you know what you're doing with this at least a little bit, right? I mean, you know how to do it. So that being said, I bought a physical painting from you, like first things.
That might be worth something.
Well, the physical painting, it's in our Makerspace. I still have it.
I don't think I ever minted it. I feel weird about minting stuff that I'd sold like real prints of to people. It just feels weird. Like there's no law against it. It's not a copyright violation, but it still feels like some kind of tiny like betrayal of like, you bought this thing and I didn't tell you when you got it that like I'd never print it again and never sell it for anybody else.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't care.
Well, I know no one cares, but it's like
so my point being though, so you can go back and do that then, right?
Yeah, I could. I mean, here's the thing. Some people assume like, oh, it's on there, so it's copyrighted. Well, only in the sense that anything you put on the internet is copyrighted by like automatic digital millennium stuff, right? It doesn't have like some special, like if somebody buys it from me, they don't have the right to like make merchandise out of it. They didn't buy licensing.
Right. Sure.
That's not in the code. So then the question is, I could make more. And it's like, yeah, I could. I didn't say I would never make more. And this is where like the culture is what keeps things from happening. So like you make something, somebody buys it and you said, I'm only going to make 3 and you sell all 3. And then you decide next week, gosh, I made a lot of money. I'll make 3 more. You can see why everybody would go, you said 3. So from here on, we don't trust you. So in other words, like you can be totally anonymous, but people don't trust your identity anymore because you will suddenly double the supply of things they bought into. So the cultural things are what keep people from just doing things that are technically possible that ruin your own market.
Okay.
So it's pretty much like exclusive baseball cards is what you're saying.
It is, and there's different mechanics for how lots of them work. Remember, these can all have programs basically built into them. Okay. So that means somebody can make it so, oh, if you have this and you spent this much money, you can put this here, and this will earn you some other token over time, like a savings account. or you'll have one, for example, one that gets generated using the hash of the transaction. So no one sees it. The artist doesn't even see it until the buyer creates it. Those ones are popular because it's kind of surprising for everybody, right? You're like, gosh, I hope a good one gets made. And that's kind of cool. Or you have ones that'll analyze your wallet and your transaction history and make a unique piece of art based on things you've done, some criteria from who knows where. So there's lots of like fun little things they do with it. It's not as like cut and dried as like, here's an image, you can have it. Yeah, they do a lot of stuff with it. They're pretty
All
enjoyable.
right, I gotta ask though, the one that I bought originally, I thought you made that in like Photoshop. Did you program that one?
I used a program to make parts of it and then combine it in Photoshop. That's kind of like my thing.
Yeah.
Like making a program that makes really good, consistent compositions. Not a lot of people can do it. Some can, but not a lot. And I'm not that good. So I make something that makes neat textures, and then I go back and I'm like, no, let's make it like good looking. So that's that's not good. Although I did write a program that does make good compositions, for the record.
You did?
Yeah, I got 2 now that do a pretty good job.
That's awesome. So is this what you do full time then now?
No, I have a job, man. I got a 9 to 5. This is what I do when I'm at work and I'm like, all right, let's do something else.
I'm gonna open a Pokemon pack basically.
I'm gonna wrap up.
It might be worth $100,000. Right?
I don't know. I don't know if any of them are worth that on there.
I'm just saying.
I haven't looked. You know what? We can look that up on OpenSea. Let's find out.
What are you looking up?
How much Toshimon cards are worth? It'll tell you the floor. They analyze it. It'll tell you the floor, meaning what's the cheapest. Oh, it's not on this one yet. Oh wait, maybe I can get it. It'll tell you the floor, so it'll tell you like what's the cheapest anyone anywhere is selling this for right now. So you know how much it costs to get one part of this collection. Let's see, their floor price is pretty low, but they've moved 629 Ethereum. So 3,500 or so times 629 is how much they've made selling those.
Wow.
Okay.
No, that's why I said wow.
Wow. Yeah. No, that's fantastic. Like all this is completely new. It's like another world.
Yeah, and it's right at your fingertips. That's what's crazy. Like, when have you ever been able to see how much an entire market has sold of something instantly and realize I could get it? Like, it makes the market weirdly efficient for stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, you can just sit at a computer and basically get all the information you need, plus create your art and generate it and make it look nice and all that jazz, all right there.
And you can see the activity feeds almost real time. So if a collection starts ramping up and the floor is going to be triple what it was yesterday, you know right now I need to buy this, because if I buy this one, tomorrow it might be worth 5 or 10 times as much. This is what is making NFTs go crazy. Like, volatile currencies is one thing. You can make a lot of money if you bet on just the right thing. But it's pretty unlikely you're going to invest in any token that's going to be worth 25, 100 times what it was today.
Right.
That's not like, you can maybe do that if you get in like a seed round investing in something that's worth nothing when you buy it, something like that. But like, you're probably not smart enough. You're probably not going to outbet the entire market and buy something that goes up like 100 times. There's just no way. But NFTs do that all the time, and they're doing it every day.
So what do you see the future? Do you see mainstream artists, different companies? Because I see like baseball cards are already doing something similar.
There's NBA Top Shots is really big.
Yeah.
So tell us how Top Shots works. Like how's this work?
I'm not into it. I don't know how it works really, other than that, like, it's kind of like booster packs, I think, where you mint and it gives you like moments from basketball games and different players and stuff like that. And those moments you can sell and trade. I don't know. I don't do that one.
Okay.
It doesn't suit my idiom.
So I have to ask, you make it sound like it's just fun and exciting and new and there's lots of money to be made. Right. So what's the downfall?
It is.
Like, why isn't everybody doing this? What's the downfall? How do you lose your all your money on it?
I mean, for one thing, it's just a little intimidating to get and understand the technology. I had friends from college. I'm like, dude, you should try this. They're like digital artists doing this sort of thing. They lounge around on the internet all day. I'm like, you should really do this. And they're like, yeah, maybe I'll try it. And they'll ask you again like 2 weeks later. And like, everything has changed in 2 weeks. You got to understand, like, every week is like 6 months in terms of how many things change in this space. Like, I was helping some guys. We were goofing around and they were building a loan platform, right? It does crypto loans. It's this whole thing. Anyway, they were building it, and they were building it for these like meme tokens like Shiba and dog coins, all that sort of stuff. They're building it for that, so people could like loan out their assets on interest, and they worked on it for like 5 or 6 months, a long time. And 2 weeks before their platform launched, this whole thing went down where the guy who created Ethereum sold like $30 million worth of Shiba and donated it to charity, and the whole market tanked for all the dog coins because of it. You're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars disappeared. And then they're like, all right, our loan platform is go. And all of a sudden these coins are worth nothing. And if they launched it 3 weeks earlier, it would have made a ton of interest for tons. Anyway, the point being, you can't be like half into it. You got to like join some Discords, jump in some Telegrams, and start asking people, and having like 24-hour support of just other people who are doing it is kind of key, because if you have a question, how does this work? For one thing, you might send a bunch of money to nowhere. That could totally happen. It's not that hard. And the other thing is, you just might not be able to figure it out. It's not always intuitive for us people that aren't like coding the stuff, Sometimes somebody's got to tell you how it works, and then you can sort it out if you're reasonably dedicated. So I think it's the barrier to entry of just the technical difficulty, the idea that all your money could disappear. I don't know, that's about it. Plus the market's so volatile, right? So even if I make a lot of money, like in March, I made a lot of money in March. April, I lost a lot of money in April because everything went down. Yeah. And I bear in mind, I'd already cashed out enough that I wouldn't be like embarrassed to tell my kids like, yeah, I lost it. But I was like, all right, this is money that like, maybe it'll do nothing. Maybe I'll pay off my student loans. And it did nothing. But I didn't sell it, so it's kind of coming back. But that's the whole point, is like, people don't like the idea of having their savings account go up or down 16, 20% a day. That doesn't make people comfortable with their money. Yeah, not people that have money. People that have been broke their whole life are like, easy come, easy go. Like, you get in and you're like, I've had nothing for a long time. All of a sudden I have something, and that's exciting. And there it goes. But you know what? I wasn't really used to having anything anyway. So that's kind of the thing, is so many people have nothing to lose. And so they get into this. They don't have, these are people that don't have a ton of money in savings accounts. They don't have a second house in the Hampshires. They're people that realize, I could actually change my living circumstances in a way that working at this salaried job will not change for the rest of my life.
Right.
That's what's making a big difference.
So that seems like the big thing. It sounds like a lot of, I guess, the risk going into it, obviously, is if you use your real money to buy into this, then there's a problem. But the that seems pretty iffy. Yeah. But the real money seems like, or the real problem, I guess, is that you're going to waste your time. Right? So like, you're going to invest all this time, you're going to try to learn how to do this stuff. That being said, there's tons of people, including like myself and other people, that play video games and not saying that video games are a waste of time, but you could the way I see it is like, this seems like it's just something you get to learn, right? You can learn it, you get good at it. It seems like most of the investment, I guess, is what you're saying, is the time that you put in, right?
It feels more like a video game than anything else I've ever done.
Okay, right. Well, that's cool too. But I guess my point is, it is your chance of loss seems like it is a lot of your time, right? And the learning curve that happens. Yeah,
and again, if you do put money into it, there's no guarantee it's coming back. Like, you got to know that going good. I didn't put any money into it. I can tell you the story sometime that like the first time I got started was through some total stranger on Instagram. It was real weird.
Well, that's how it goes, right? So it sounds kind of like the stock market meets Pokemon meets digital things and craziness. Yeah. What's the thing you like the most about it?
It puts a value to creative work, and it's the first time there's been a way for digital work to have some kind of connection to the artist. I think before that, it was always just a copy of a file that no one would ever buy, because why would you? And now the file being there and being connected to their wallet means that you're connected to the artist, and it creates that authentic thing that makes the difference between a copy and a real thing.
So
in other words, like,
how's
I don't think I would say there hasn't been
Hmm.
authentic digital art until NFT technology existed. Before that, it was all just art that happened to be on a JPEG.
Yeah. So if I make, again, if I'm going back to that really sweet picture of Kofi as Destro that I'm going to make,
Oof.
right? And
Yeah.
how do I tell somebody, like, listen, this is I hit save. That's the file, right? This is the original file. How's that work? Is that what you're talking about before, where I have to send it in and pay gas to get it?
You
verified?
you could right now go on Rarible, create a MetaMask wallet. Some of these things you just gotta get into. Like, it's just like
Sure.
an extension for your browser. Don't lose your seed phrase. Don't tell anyone your seed phrase. You get that. It's an extension for Chrome. It's like, I'll connect it. Okay, you got a little bit of money in there, and you click mint, and it's like, all right, upload your image. Tell us what it's called. How many do you want to make? How much you want to sell it for? Do you want royalties? Details like that. You put it all in. You click OK. It's like, it's gonna cost this much. Are you sure? And you go, yeah, I'm sure. Do it, and it does it. And a lot of people do that, and then nothing ever sells.
Right.
It happens. But
Well,
then,
yeah.
some people just grind at it and do it and keep doing it and experimenting. And, eventually they get some traction once they got a good identity and a consistent body of work, and they market themselves well, and they're connected to people. And, you do X, Y, and Z, and eventually you've got a second job as an NFT artist.
So to be very clear, and I'm just clarifying here, you don't have to know how to program. You can just be like good at drawing on a tablet or making some type of digital art.
I'm just saying that programming, if you know how to do it, you can make generative stuff, and generative stuff is a good way to make decent art that you can make lots of. And so, like,
one piece will, like, say you make a turtle, one piece might change colors to different colors or whatever, and other ones don't. So the one that does is worth more money.
True.
So
okay. And the other thing is like an art blocks type thing. I've got an art blocks thing coming up next week. It's kind of a big deal for me. But, like, for instance, it's going to make 1,000. It's not going to make them all at once. It's just, as people buy, the limit of ones being made is 1,000. I didn't have time to make 1,000 art pieces by hand, even in Photoshop. I didn't have that much time. But if 1,000 of them get made and they sell for what the market dictates is a fair price, basically, like, that's a significant thing. So people that don't program are kind of screened out from that world of, like, basically creating your own art currency type thing.
Okay, and I like how you said it was
art currency. That makes more sense.
Which is, again, you said it was more valuable because it acts like the cryptocurrencies, so you can do things with it, and it has. Just
because the supply is there, and you can compare, and anything that there's not enough of, it has to function different. It has to be a purchase that's owned by, the way traditional art works. It's owned by the elite, or it's owned by friends of the artist, or people that bought it because they thought the art was going to be worth something. Like, that's what people talk about. You see in the space, people talk about, oh, that's a 101. That means it might be real rare and worth a lot, but it's not going to be a part of a collection that you can usually evaluate based on what the floor of the whole collection is. Maybe for the artist, like, if this artist only sells stuff over X amount, it'll have a floor, but it's different because the floor is being much more manipulated by a small group of people.
Yeah. Hey, Ben, that's not too spammy. That's information that you're putting in.
That's good information.
Thank you. So really it's programming it to work for you, kind of what you were saying. It's either coming up with, like, being an already existing artist, right? Like, so we talked to artists on here that draw and that do digital art and everything. They could get on there and say, hey, these are originals, I want to upload it, see what people will pay for it, all those things, right?
Absolutely, they should. I absolutely think that. I would recommend all the Purdue students I knew that had any talent. I wish I could go back and be like, you should do this here, because it's the only way you're going to make anybody doing this for a while.
Cool. No, it's a really good space then. And I mean, yes, it does cost you money to get it evaluated and get it uploaded first. But if you have a name, again, because you can get into one of these gated communities or something else like that, what's your best advice to someone, like somebody maybe who was on the show before, one of your students that knows how to draw, knows how to make really good art, but they are not on the internet at all. They're not doing any NFTs at all. What do they do? Where's the first start point?
Get Twitter. Try to suppress your gag instinct, because Twitter's awful. Next step is, well, there's a lot of things you could do. It's really developed a lot from when I started. There's a whole bunch of different things. I would say one of the most fun things to do if you've not experienced yet is experiment with Tezos chain and go get a Hic Nunc started. I know you're gonna say, what was that? Hic Nunc, it's Latin. It means here and now. They named the platform something deliberately obscure to make it sound artsy. It's not. It's an open platform, so anybody can join it. And Tezos, it's not a big chain like Ethereum. It's not being used by a million people trying to do their banking on it, essentially. It's mostly, right now, it's mostly being used for art and a little bit of DeFi, decentralized finance, a little bit of that. But that means that, like, if you know somebody who can give you, I don't know, let's say $10, $20 of Tezos, right? It costs pennies to mint on there, pennies. So you can mint as much as you want. And the platform's free to get on. So you don't have to go through an application process. You don't have to spend a bunch of money. There's actually tons of good stuff to collect because there's so many people just goofing around on it. Some of them good artists who are just new. If you know good art and you see some, you can buy some and turn it around a couple months later for a pretty good return. And that might be you. You might be the guy. Yeah.
That was going to be another question. So if I'm an art collector or somebody who knows art, is it possible for me to, instead of playing the stock market, right, where I don't know anything about stocks, to go on here and pick out art and be like, all right, I'm buying that for a couple bucks and then waiting for it to go, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to roll the dice because sometimes, like, okay, some artist who's established, they don't go through the right channels and get into a curated platform. The curated platforms basically, they're basically like predators for established artists like that. Because
so
in
what
their
are
mind,
the
they're like,
curated platforms?
Well,
there's a bunch. There's Makerspace, Known Origin, Super Rares is the really famous one. Other ones I'm sure I'm not thinking of. But anyway, but they are looking for established artists to get in there. Because if they onboard that person, say, oh, look, it's this guy. Look at all the wonderful stuff he's done. He's going to be on our Twitter space. He's going to talk, and it's going to be really cool. And he's going to drop this thing, and we'll announce it way ahead of time. We'll get all our collectors lined up. Yeah. And, you know, that's a lot of money for the platform, usually. If
they're almost like sports agents for sports stars, right? And they're scouting.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Right.
Because they know if they get this person on their platform, it's going to mean everybody gets their paycheck that month.
Right. Now, if you are an established artist, say you're a famous artist, right? But you don't do any NFTs. Would you personally recommend them going to a place like that or not?
Yeah,
like, it sounds like they just promote you and everything too.
Yeah, well, I tried to get Azerit, the Alexis Zerrit, the guy that did the Night Hunters, and he did Space Riders, and he does a lot of comics, and he's got like lots of album covers, and he did one of the Fortnite loading screens and a Magic the Gathering card. Like, he's a real deal artist. Right. I tried to get him into Makerspace or Known Origin. I'm like, you could make so much money here. Your art is great. And I'm like, I'm not trying to like get anything out of it. I don't get anything out of it. I just want you to do it because like he still has commissions open for amounts that relatively normal people can afford. I'm like, no, you could be rich, man. so I'm trying to bring him in, and he's like, no, I don't know. It's like comic book industry. They kind of frown on NFT stuff. It's got some sort of eco stuff with it. I don't want to do it. I'm like, okay. So, you drop it because you're not gonna.
If you're watching this right now, I remember I'm in cosplay, and I remember at the beginning of cosplay, there was a lot of people who frowned on a lot of the like GoFundMe's and things like that for cosplay. And then, which I can kind of understand, right? Because a lot of times people use it for help, and it's like, well, help me on this. And then Patreon came out, and holy crap, I wish that we would have gotten into Patreon at the start as a cosplay type of thing, because that ended up going well, and it was frowned upon. I mean, honestly, I remember people told us, like, hey, you should do Patreon. You should do Patreon. I remember one of my friends, like my roommate at the time, he was doing video game stuff, and he was like, oh, I'm on Patreon. I'm doing this. Nobody had really heard about it. We should have gotten on there. But again, I said that's kind of frowned upon in the cosplay community. Turns out, totally not. And people are making their money now cosplaying now, and it's gone on to other things too. So really, yeah, it might be frowned upon a bit by some things, but it's still a really good way, in my opinion, and this is just me, it's a really good way, it seems like, for you to be an artist and not be a starving artist, right?
Yes. Yeah, it is. And it's complicated to explain the backlash too, because there are real ecological concerns. And then if you understand how they're addressed and how they're mediated and what things we do need to fix and don't, And you imagine, the thing is, I'm not the guy who's got 33,000 followers on Instagram and like 5,000 of them then dedicate their lives to calling you an eco-terrorist. Like, he's not, but now he's got to deal with that, right? And he's like, I'm just trying to sell some art. Like another friend, this guy, Rob Sheridan, he used to do art for 9 Inch Nails. He did one NFT, and my buddy works at the platform that he released it on. And he was like, yeah, he quit making it after he sold his first one and created an anonymous account to make art and sell it under, because like he got so much abuse from his fans over it. Like so he got so much, he quit doing it as him. He didn't want to use his fame to sell art.
Yeah, he didn't want to use his famous one. Yeah,
toxic community on the other end.
So why are you calling them eco-terrorists and things like that? Is it?
I didn't say eco-terrorist, did I?
Maybe you did. Maybe you didn't. I don't know. I'm making stuff up.
People, they're well-meaning people who really do point out some like faults of the blockchain industry. I wouldn't say it's an industry.
Sure.
They point out things that are like unsustainable about it. But they usually will not go to all the detail to understand that, like, they'll cherry pick certain little bits of data and extrapolate and multiply by certain other ones to make really wild numbers that are technically not true for like 99.9% of the transactions.
Yeah, we've never seen anybody do that on social media.
So I just mean they'll be like, oh, it uses this much energy to make an NFT. It's like, no, it used that much energy for Beeple, the most famous NFT artist there is, to mint 10,000 of them a second for one night, like, you know, that kind of a thing.
Oh, so that's where the energy. So it's an actual energy issue, like making
blockchain in general. Blockchain in general is, and so they extrapolate that to like blockchain things, where they're like, oh, it takes all these supercomputers in China to do it, and it's using so much energy, and it's bad for the environment. And it's like, on the one hand, yeah, it does use a lot of energy, and then sometimes you got to ask questions like, how can we make it more efficient? And Ethereum's doing that. They're moving to proof of stake for a bunch of things. Tezos has always been proof of stake, so it doesn't pay miners for mining more and using more energy. I don't understand how that works. That's beyond me, but just trust the people that do the marketing, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, that's always a good idea.
But I mean, it's all this complicated knot of like, you got to ask what the opportunity cost is too. Like, okay, if we have a global computer that works for people to anonymously and freely and without barriers or restrictions make financial transactions, have savings account, take out loans, do all those sorts of things, how much amount of energy are we willing to devote to that versus the amount we spend just, I don't know, vacuum cleaning empty banks, like, you know, keeping the lights on in vaults. Totally. Like, is part of it is the opportunity cost question, where you're like, we could shut down a lot of stuff if we just agreed that this was actually a better and more equitable way to do things like finance.
Yeah. So honestly, that sounds like one of those things that people are making a big deal out of something that probably isn't that big of a deal. But
that's a medium. I think it's a medium deal. I don't think they're
you can get more into it, I guess, and people should do their own research. And
I don't think it's fair to abuse people for being a part of it that aren't.
Totally not.
Any more than it's fair to abuse someone that doesn't recycle their cans. Like, you can be like, come on. But like, you don't show up at their doorstep leaving them death threats. That's, you know, come on, some aluminum. Take it easy.
I think that's a pretty good analogy too. And I mean, the person is just trying to make money doing the thing that they love to do, which is always a good thing, right? Well, not always, but most of the time that's a pretty good thing, right? Like,
sure. And the counterpoint I always hear, I got friends that are like, they're like disabled people that are making art. I mean, like, you know, they can't hold down a job because of anxiety and surgeries, and I don't know all of it. I don't know all their personal lives. Sure. But like, you know, they'll get real mad because they'll be like, I can't work. And I'm making money enough to, like, I don't have to rely on somebody. I'm not a dependent because I'm doing this. And they get real mad at people. I'm like, I guess I could not, but it's really fun. Like,
well, the thing about it, in your perspective though, is like, it does give you that security, right? So if for whatever reason you were to the point where you lost your day job, you'd at least have some type of income that you could possibly go on to, right?
Yeah.
Which, to anybody, really is a secondary income. Rather than sit and play video games, you can sit and learn this, and it seems like it would be, you know, advantageous in some respect. And I'm not trying to like influence one person one way or another, but I'm just talking, just saying what's coming to my mind.
Well, and a part of it that's important, I think, is I think a lot of people think that, oh, this is kind of like a fad and it'll go away. And the NFTs may or may not, you know, the market may go, like, the technology won't go anywhere. And one of the things that people don't really, I think, grasp yet is that blockchain technology isn't going anywhere.
Oh, it's not going anywhere.
No, it's not. And that's the thing, is like, it'd be like, you know, let's say it's, you know, the 1960s 60s or 70s or whatever, and you're like, I don't know, computers, that's for the dorks. I don't need to learn some whole new thing. And then you got people that are, geriatric, and they're like, I don't know how anything works anymore. I can't do normal everyday things the way other people can. So to me, a part of it is like, it's worth it to get into it now while it's fun and relatively low stakes, because they're going to keep building more and more systems that use it, I think, as we get older. And the part of this is just insurance against becoming irrelevant when you're older. Part of it is like, you got to get, let's say something happens, you got to get a new job at age 57. If they run all their computers on Web3 and the blockchain, and you don't know how any of it works because you just didn't want to mess with it, I mean, you kind of lost your opportunity to have, the ability to interact with the world as it will be in a few decades.
Yeah,
I could be wrong about that.
I feel super outdated and old right now because I don't know anything about blockchain. So now, damn, looks like that sucks, but also is awesome at the same time.
Wait, hold on, Elon Musk. Sorry, I missed that question.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay, the Elon Musk thing, for the record, that was really, really, really shady. Not because I'm like mad about what he did, but like, you don't buy a friggin' like $1 billion of Bitcoin and then be like, wait a minute, how do they make the Bitcoin? And then like take it out and then suddenly say that, yeah, we shouldn't use that. I'm not going to sell it, but we shouldn't use it. So virtually everyone in crypto was seeing what was happening, and they're like, he's manipulating the market. This is the reason the SEC wants to make it illegal in a lot of ways, or regulate it, because like one person having that much of a share of the market, having that much of an influence on the market, that is super shady. Because I don't know what he was invested in beyond that public Bitcoin. He even says publicly that he has anonymous Ethereum accounts and anonymous Bitcoin accounts. And so God knows what Elon was making everybody dump their bag. He buys them up when they're all at the floor because he's the second richest person in the world. And now when everybody's like, wait a minute, he was just messing with us. Market goes back up and he's got a friggin' quadruple richest person in the world. You know what I mean? So that whole thing was a scam, I think, to be honest. I think Elon Musk was playing everybody for idiots, and they bought it up. They're like, he's right, we need to fix the ecology. It's like it was a bit. Anyway, is that a conspiracy theory? That's pretty close to a conspiracy theory, but I think it's true. You don't buy $1 billion of something if you don't understand how it works on some level. That's too much of an investment. That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. And the thing about some conspiracy theories is the fact that there's truth to them, right? That
Thank you, John.
Where is this going? Yeah. So that being said, what is the crazy? What's the worst thing that's ever happened to you on this thing? Can you share us a bad really story with us?
I've been pretty fortunate. I haven't had huge. Here's something that's embarrassing. It wasn't. Sure. I mean, having all my money go down for months was pretty bad. I'm not all of it. Like I said, I cash out a lot, but like watching when you have multiple thousands and you're not used to having hardly any in savings, and you're like, there it goes, and you're like, I needed so many things. What was I thinking? Why did I not sell that? But it goes back. It went back up, so I'm not scared. Anyway, that was embarrassing. But the really embarrassing one is all these systems and markets. They're all automated, and we're not really used to that in our adult life, and nothing that culture has taught us. So I put in a bid for something. Somebody had a portrait of Andy Warhol, and it was like a guy that I'd talked to, and I was like, that's cool. He painted. I like Warhol. I put like $30 bid on it, right? In this currency that came with the Rarible platform. I was like, no big deal. He doesn't accept it. Fine. I'll apologize for a lowball offer, but it's just fun. He's got like 15 of it that haven't sold. Why not? I like it. I did that. Fast forward 7 months later, those tokens that I bid like 15 of are all worth like a couple $100. Mm-hmm. I forgot about that bid. I didn't even remember it was there because he never accepted it. And then one day in the middle of the night, it's like 2 a.m. and I'm in bed. It's like, you just spent $780. I'm sorry? I what? Like, I panicked and I messaged people on like my message. I'm like, somebody used up all my Rari. What happened? And they're like, oh, you got hacked. And everybody's so used to getting hacked that they all panic every time I have to say, buddy, all right, move all your money. So then you're transferring every bit of money you have from every platform and every type of thing to a different wallet. You're like, crud, I got to get it out before they get it out. And you do all this panic stuff and I move everything. Oh my God, what's going on? Oh, my wallet's compromised. What else is it attached to? How am I networked to that wallet? And then like eventually my friend looks at the transaction code because it's all public, remember? And I was on my phone. I couldn't do it. And he looks at it. He's like, dude, you bought something. What do you mean? I'm like, what do you mean I bought something? He's like, you bid for something and they accepted the bid. I was like, that's why my money's gone? He's like, yeah, how much did you put in? I'm like, well, it wasn't worth much at the time. He's like, did you ever cancel the bid? I'm like, do people do that? Like, there you go. So that's just it. You can forget you had a bid out for like a huge chunk of your wallet that wasn't worth anything at the time, and the money's still there. So it's learning to interact with systems that are automated, that we're very, very used to being not automated. We're very used to it being difficult to get people money. I can get cash out of an ATM and give it to you, but we can't just, it's getting closer with stuff like Venmo, but like, I can't give you my public wallet address and you can see all the stuff I ever do publicly. You can see every transaction I make. You can send me money if you want. You just can't take anything out of it. That's what's so weird, is living with your financial business public, as long as they know whose wallet it is.
Right.
Yeah, that's super interesting. And also, so take notes and don't be forgetful. So maybe I shouldn't be on this.
Write down. Okay, one thing to do this is very important. When you get a wallet set up, they give you a seed phrase and it's like 12 words or whatever, right? You need to write that down somewhere. You're not going to lose it, because if your wallet gets disconnected or you lose your password to something or whatever, that's how you get your money back. Oh, that was something that happened. I lost my seed phrase for a site that I had logged in the browser for a long time on a different chain. And I realized I never wrote it down. I never got it from them. And I just lost like $500 that there's no way to get it back. They can't get it back. You can't call tech support and tell them to get it back. That's the thing. They can't access it either. So if you lose your seed phrase, that money is just gone. Gone.
Yeah, no, Quaid knows me. Good luck not getting more. No, like, I would have to, I don't know, figure some better bookkeeping way.
You just write it down somewhere. Don't type it in.
Yeah, don't type it anywhere. Actually write it and keep it someplace. So about that phrase. So is it randomly generated words? Like you don't get to pick what the sentence is.
No, it's
going to be like frog, dog, like fox, tree, 8.
Yes, it would be children's poetry.
Right. Yes, I just made children's poetry.
Sat. That's what it'll be. No, it's
only written by Dr. Seuss. That's it.
They'll give it to you. They have them for, and here's the thing that makes it so important now is the way they've gotten so good at making wallets that your seed phrase can open up your wallet that exists on like 5 different chains, like Tezos, Matic, Brink, everything. So if you use your wallet for tons of different applications across all sorts of chains and you lose that wallet, it's a very big deal. Don't do it. Don't lose it.
Yeah.
People aren't used to having to be that responsible. We're used to having the bank hold our money for us. We're used to having it so that if I lose my email password, there's somebody I can call on tech support, but it's not that way. It's not very forgiving.
So realistically, what are the chances of getting hacked? Maybe not chances, but what's the, you just talked about panicking hard when you thought you got hacked.
Yeah. Yeah, but also I'm pretty dumb.
Well, say you do get hacked, or do people get hacked decent amount of time?
So there's a guy, Bruce the Goose, that lost a huge amount of money. So it was like all he'd made, and he'd been doing it for months. He lost like $20,000 or $30,000, and he lost it because there was a browser thing that said click to connect to your MetaMask, and that's what you have to do for half these applications is connect to it. But basically, somebody had set it up so that it built a false prompt to some other thing. And he didn't read the print when it said, like, what are you connecting to? It was like 1 letter different or something, right? He didn't read it. And he clicked it and connected it. And it said, like, somewhere in the fine print, like, I give this app permissions to use this and this currency. And he said, yeah, go. And they emptied it out. And that was that. And one of the main pieces of advice people give you now in the community is they're like, don't keep your savings in the same wallet that you keep your, like, walking around money. If you need to mint art, keep enough money to mint the art you got to mint. And if you sell it, move that money to this other wallet that's for savings. Have a wallet that you don't connect to every application in the world, because if one of them gets exploited somewhere, you don't want your wallet exposed. So you try to keep one that's connected to, like, maybe your bank account, not like any old thing, but like Coinbase can connect to your bank account. People can't take money out of your bank account, don't worry. So you keep that one that maybe that's where I store all my money that I made that I don't want to go anywhere, but I maybe don't want to cash it out right away, because if Ethereum goes up or down, I don't want to sell it when we're down here. You keep one for that, and then you keep one for, like, doing stuff.
Okay, so getting back to the bank account thing, the real bank account, do you connect your crypto wallet over to, like, your PayPal, which is connected to your bank account, or is that not a thing?
You can. PayPal is really tricky with that. They used to make it impossible to do anything with crypto with PayPal because they were too worried. And they just, I think like 3 or 4 months ago, made it so you can do something, but you can't buy crypto with PayPal. I think that's how it goes. That's a very deliberate choice they made. So
Sure.
like,
So you can like income money into your PayPal, but not
you
buy.
could, you can.
We'd have to
I'm
look
trying
into
to-
it, I guess.
I'm trying to. Well, it's tricky because, like I said, they put these barriers in place, and some of these platforms have workarounds where, like, the platform is technically the one collecting the money, and if you give them the PayPal, they'll send it there instead of your wallet. Things like that. So you just got to keep an eye out for like how the individual platform works. And are you trying to figure out how you're going to buy some crypto with PayPal?
No, I'm just you mentioned basically that's what I do with my PayPal, right? I empty my PayPal into my bank account and then just make it one way and then just use it just like you were saying. But so Ben, he has a question there. Matt, can you share on ENS domains?
Yeah, sure. I got about 5 more minutes, but
Sure.
ENS domains, basically you can pay a service to take your wallet address and give it a cute name, and that will make it easier for people to send you money. That's the gist of it. So if I wanted my wallet to be known by everybody that could send me stuff, I would register, and it doesn't even cost that much. I think it's just a small gas fee.
Sure.
If I'm right, I think it doesn't cost much, but you own the ENS, so beware if somebody else buys it. It's like domains, right? If you want a domain that's already taken, that might cost you a lot. You can buy your name to be sergeantslaughtermelon.f, and if somebody types that into like different transaction things, send money to sergeantslaughtermelon.f, you'll send it to my wallet. It's just kind of a nice way of making it not so confusing to people that aren't computers, and most of us aren't.
Now, do you think that's going to get to the point where everybody's going to want to buy up ENF domains or ENS domains to the point where they're like buying the 3-letter ones, 4-letter ones, and then selling those for tons of money, like you were just saying? Same way that people do with other domains?
It could be, but since it's everybody's name, it's an awful lot of characters to be taken by multiple people. And people don't want to spend gas money just to like chance that, Clarence Rigby Thomas is going to need his ENS domain in 5 years. Like,
right.
It'll just be a big waste of money. It hasn't really come up that much, to be honest. The only time I've seen it be an issue is when people front run platforms that they know are developing something and they'll buy the name. Like we were working on base loans for a while, and this guy bought baseloans.ens to try and front run them wanting it for like their community's multi-sig wallet. And but luckily he was a friend of theirs, so he just gave it to him. He's like, yeah, I got it. Here you go.
I know you don't have much time. I know you don't have much time, and I know we've been completely off script from what we usually are. But I gotta know tell me usually we have like set questions, but this is too interesting for that.
Yeah.
I gotta know, tell me like one of the best or a really good story about what you've done, right? Like what's a good thing? You said something bad that happened or something embarrassing. What's a success that you've had?
I'll tell you about a success I'm really proud of. I don't keep it a secret from my kids or at all what I'm up to, and I get excited about it, and they get excited about it. And my daughter wanted to make something, Melody did, and how do you tell a kid like the internet's not a very friendly place? So I said like, I'll tell you what, kiddo, let's come up with an artist name, and you make something, and I will scan it, and I'll build you an OpenSea, storefront. They don't cost anything. OpenSea made it so it doesn't even cost money to set it up, so we won't be investing a bunch of money in it. So she came up with a fake name. She's Livia Tan. We built a storefront for her, and I scanned her art at like 1200 DPI. I'm like, you're going to get your pixels if you buy them. And so I put it in there, and I asked her what it's called, and I labeled it, and I asked her how much we should charge, and she gives you little kid numbers, and you're like, that's okay. We're going to put this much. And, and you sell it for so much. And I posted to Twitter. I was like, hey, one little artist I always support is this little girl. And it's her birthday in a couple of weeks. She said she wanted this, and I really did put it up for how much she has to sell it for one time, even though I thought it was crazy. And this guy who'd been in the space for a while and had kids of his own, he's, hey, here you go. Tell her she sold it, and like look at her face when you tell her, because I want you to have that moment with her. And so this guy bought my daughter's art for like $120, and like that's going straight into her college savings. And the guy did it. He's not. I don't know if he's gonna flip that ever, because it's a kid art. Right. And like kid art, it can be really good kid art, but it's still kid art, right? It's a genre. and he bought it just out of the goodness of his heart. And it's more money than most people would be willing in real life to spend on a kid having a sidewalk sale of their art. It was a lot. That'd be insane, right? Not a lot of people would spend that much for that. And this money kind of flows around freely in that space, and people will do things like that on a lark. And I did tell Melody, and she was thrilled. And now she's still making art and stuff where she would get bored of making art before. She knows that it's a valuable thing to do now, creative enterprise is not being seen by her parents and society as worthless and non-contributive. So that's, I think, one of the big differences is that like creative work is being seen to have value that had been dismissed ever since we decided that STEM was the only worthwhile thing to teach children in schools and universities.
Right.
Man, no, that's fantastic. That's a great story. You're right that it does support people making art, right? Again, you hear the starving artist way too often, and hopefully now we're going to hear, really wealthy artists because they're really good at what they're doing and they got on this train.
Some of them.
No, that's awesome.
So feel free to interact with me on Twitter or on Instagram.
Are you
Instagram
Sergeant
isn't really a crypto
Slaughter
thing.
Melon on Twitter?
Maybe. Yes.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, that's where you can, if you want to see updates on like what I'm up to and what's going on. Like I said, I got a pretty big thing coming up about a week from now that might change a lot of things about my life. But anyway, you can see some of the neat stuff going on in there, and it's a fun space. Even if Twitter's awful, people are still fun.
True.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for being on here with us. I probably will have a couple more questions if people watch this and they follow up and they're like,
Sure.
So I might reach out to you, and I might be like, hey, listen, I need to know more about this. If it's opening Magic cards or Pokemon cards online and I can make a lot of money with it by accident or getting lucky, I feel like that might be a thing I want to do.
You can throw so much money on this bonfire, baby.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't do that too much, but a little bit, just a little bit. So I'll be in contact with you there too. But again, thanks so much for coming on here and answering some of our questions about what the hell this is. Tell us again, just like where we can find you or things that you want us to know, the people that are watching.
You can just go to sergeantslaughtermelon.com. That's the easiest place. I should really put my link tree on there. I haven't done that. But my link tree is where you can find all my art and social media accounts. So it's linkter.ee/sgt_slaughtermelon, just like it is in the little window here. So you can go there and look at all that stuff. And I keep adding to that thing and moving stuff off of it. And yeah, that's how you can keep track of what the heck I'm up to.
Kofi, you want to take this? You want to do next?
Yep. I'm Patrick Kofi Austin. You can find me at everything Patrick Austin, LinkedIn, or at Mojo James.
Yeah, and I'm James Wolfgar, and I'm down here in downtown Lafayette, Indiana. This is MatchBOX Makerspace and Media Studio is where I'm at now. And we're part of the MatchBOX co-working studio. So Maker Monday is about makers throughout the community, really all over, nationally and internationally as well. So if you have any want, or do you want to see, if you want to be on the show, or if you know somebody who you think would do well on the show, or you want to know more about, please let me know. Also, I am down here in Lafayette, Indiana, at a makerspace literally every day. We make all kinds of different things, literally over 50 different ways of making things, from molding and casting to sculpting to you name it, so long as it doesn't have to deal with like hard metals. Please come down and see the space, and I'd be happy to show you around. Our membership is only $99 a month, and there's also scholarships available for that too. And in general, it's just a really, really fun time to be in the maker community and the NFT community as well, apparently, and just so many other things. So there's a lot happening down here at MatchBOX. We are open 24 hours to members, and then we're open during the day throughout the week for people to walk in and take tours, that sort of thing. So with that, I will see you guys in 2 weeks and for the next Maker Monday. Thanks.